Have you ever wondered if the simple fruits sitting in your kitchen could hold the secret to feeling better and living longer? It's a quiet truth that many of us, especially as we cross into our 60s and beyond, don't like to admit. We start noticing those little aches, the memory slips, the days when our energy just doesn't keep up anymore. I've been there too. I remember waking up with stiff joints, feeling frustrated that something as simple as tying my shoes became a challenge. It's a reality that sneaks up on us, and sometimes it feels like there's nothing we can do except accept it. But here's the comforting part. There's an easy, natural way to support your body that doesn't require complicated routines or expensive treatments. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. The answer might be closer than you think, right on your grocery list. Imagine adding just a few delicious fruits every day that quietly work behind the scenes to reduce inflammation, boost brain power, and protect your heart and joints. In this video, I'll share 5 powerful fruits that seniors across the country are using to regain strength and vitality. These fruits aren't just tasty, they're packed with nutrients that help you stay active, sharp, and feel good well into your golden years. So, are you ready to discover how a simple change in your diet could transform your health? Because you deserve to live your best life every single day. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. 1. Cherries, nature's anti-inflammatory powerhouse. Cherries. Just the word itself brings to mind summer days and cheerful pies cooling on the windowsill, doesn't it? For so many of us, cherries were a treat in childhood, whether they came from a roadside stand, a neighbor's tree, or the can of filling inside a birthday cake. But beyond the sweet nostalgia, cherries are quietly becoming a powerful ally for those of us looking to age well, especially when it comes to fighting the aches and pains that seem to sneak up on us after 65. Let's be honest. Getting older brings its share of surprises, and not all of them are pleasant. One morning, you wake up and notice your hands don't work quite the way they used to. Maybe it's the first time you struggle to unscrew a jar, or you hesitate before kneeling to weed the garden, worried about that all-too-familiar twinge in your knees. There's something deeply frustrating, almost unfair, about being sharp in your mind but slowed down by your own body. I remember talking to my neighbor Ruth, a retired teacher who always kept her hands busy. Whether she was writing letters to old friends or embroidering birthday gifts for her grandchildren, Ruth's hands were her connection to the world. But in her 70s, arthritis started to steal that joy away. Some mornings, she confided, it hurts just to pick up a coffee cup. The stiffness is always worse at dawn. I have to sit and flex my fingers, almost coax them back to life. I nodded. It's a story I've heard from so many, because arthritis, inflammation, and those nagging aches are among the most common burdens as we age. Doctors will tell you that chronic inflammation is a sneaky culprit behind a host of age-related troubles: joint pain, gout, even heart disease, and memory loss. It's a slow burn inside the body, often invisible but undeniably powerful. The trouble is, most of us just try to live with it. Maybe you reach for pain relievers when things get bad. Maybe you quietly adjust your routine, giving up on little pleasures you used to enjoy, a game of cards, a walk around the block, even sleep, when pain keeps you tossing and turning at night. That silent resignation is what breaks my heart. But what if there were something you could do, every single day, that would gently soothe that internal fire? Something natural, familiar, and, dare I say it, delicious? That's where cherries come in. Most people think of fruit as a snack or a dessert, but the science behind cherries is quietly revolutionary. Packed within their bright red skin is a group of antioxidants called anthocyanins. These aren't just fancy words for nutrition labels. They're potent little warriors that help the body put out the inflammation that fuels pain and disease. For seniors especially, that's a game changer. Studies show that cherries can lower levels of inflammatory markers in the blood. People with gout, a notoriously painful condition, often find their flare-ups become less frequent and severe when they add cherries to their diet. Blood pressure? Cherries can help lower that, too. And for anyone who struggles with restless nights, cherries contain natural melatonin, helping to regulate sleep cycles and make it easier to drift off and stay asleep. Back to Ruth. After hearing about the benefits of cherries, she decided to give it a try. She started simple. Just a small bowl of frozen cherries in the evening, sometimes mixed into a little yogurt, other times just on their own. She didn't expect much. "I figured, what could a handful of fruit do?" she laughed. But after a few weeks, something shifted. "It wasn't magic," she told me, "but I noticed I wasn't as stiff in the morning. My hands felt warmer and looser. I even started writing thank you cards again, something I'd almost given up." The improvement wasn't dramatic or instant, but it was real. For Ruth, it meant reclaiming a piece of her independence. That's the beauty of cherries. They don't promise overnight miracles, but their steady support adds up. Eating cherries regularly, whether fresh in summer, frozen in winter, or even as 100% pure cherry juice, can help manage chronic inflammation in a way that feels gentle and sustainable. The key is consistency, not perfection. Even a small daily habit can become a lifeline. But let's not forget, cherries do far more than comfort sore joints. Their impact ripples through the body in ways that touch nearly every aspect of healthy aging. Take the heart, for example. Cherries help lower uric acid, which not only soothes gout but also supports kidney function. Their antioxidants combat oxidative stress, a major driver of cell damage and disease. Over time, that means less risk of heart problems and a stronger shield against illnesses that can sap your vitality. And then there's the brain. As we age, many of us worry about memory slips, foggy thinking, or even more serious conditions like dementia. While no fruit can stop time, the anthocyanins in cherries have been linked to improved cognitive function and a lower risk of neurodegenerative disease. Think of them as fuel for mental clarity, helping you stay sharp for longer. If you're new to cherries, you might wonder how best to work them into your routine. The options are as varied as your imagination. Toss them into a smoothie with a handful of spinach and a spoonful of yogurt. Sprinkle them on your morning oatmeal. Blend frozen cherries with a banana for a quick, creamy snack. Even store-bought, unsweetened cherry juice offers a burst of flavor and nutrition. Just be sure to check the label for added sugars. Some folks worry about the cost or availability, especially if you're on a fixed income. The good news? Frozen cherries are just as powerful as fresh, and they're available year-round at most supermarkets. A small handful each day is enough to make a difference. No need for expensive supplements or trendy powders. Let's not overlook the emotional side, either. There's a small, familiar joy in eating cherries, a taste of summer, a reminder of picnics and family gatherings. Food is never just about nutrients. It's about pleasure and connection. Sharing a bowl of cherries with your spouse while watching the evening news, or serving cherry cobbler at a family dinner, can become its kind of medicine for the soul. Of course, I know what some of you might be thinking. I've lived this long, do I need to change what I eat now? It's a fair question. Habits are hard to shift, especially after decades of living. But here's something I've learned from the people I talk to every day. It's never too late to make a small change that adds up to a big difference. Aging is not about giving up the things you love. It's about finding new ways to live the life you have. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If you have health concerns, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney issues, always check with your doctor before making dietary changes. But in most cases, adding cherries is a safe, low-risk way to experiment with better health. And as with any habit, the trick is not to strive for perfection, but to find what feels doable and stick with it. I've seen firsthand how a simple shift, like eating a bowl of cherries after dinner, can become an anchor in a day, a signal to your body that you're taking care of it, even in small ways. There's dignity and hope in those little rituals. So, the next time you find yourself in the produce aisle, maybe pause in front of the cherries. Think about Ruth, who reclaimed her mornings. Think about all the people quietly fighting the daily battle with inflammation, looking for something gentle and effective. And think about yourself, not just as someone enduring the passage of time, but as someone with the power to choose what each day looks like. Cherries might be a simple fruit, but for those of us over 65, they can become something much greater. A daily reminder that you still have agency, that your comfort and energy matter, and that delicious solutions do exist for the challenges that come with age. Because growing older shouldn't mean settling for less. Sometimes, it's as easy as reaching for a bowl of cherries and letting nature lend you a helping hand. Give it a try. Your joints, and your whole body, might just thank you. 2. Red grapes. Protect your heart and improve circulation. Red grapes, those glossy little jewels you see glistening in the produce aisle, may be the same kind you remember nibbling off the vine as a child, staining your fingers a cheerful purple. They're so familiar, so ordinary, that it's easy to overlook them. But the humble red grape is one of nature's quiet wonders, especially for anyone over 60 hoping to protect their most vital organ, the heart. Let's be honest. By the time we reach our late 60s or 70s, most of us have spent at least a little time thinking about our heart health. Maybe you have your little pharmacy on the kitchen counter. Blood pressure pills, cholesterol meds, tiny tablets that help you sleep. Maybe you've watched a friend or spouse struggle with heart disease, and you know the toll it takes. The endless doctor visits, the fatigue that hangs around like an unwanted guest, the way worry seems to hover in the background of everyday life. In America, heart problems are so common that we sometimes treat them as an inevitable part of growing old. But what if I told you that something as simple as a bowl of red grapes could make a real difference for your heart and your circulation? Not a miracle, not a cure, but a gentle, delicious way to give your body what it needs to keep you going strong. Let me share a story that brings this truth to life. George was a neighbor of mine for nearly 20 years. A tall, broad-shouldered man who prided himself on being active. Even in his 70s, George could be seen out for a brisk walk each morning, his old dog shuffling alongside. But after his wife passed, things started to change. He complained about feeling winded on the stairs. At a routine checkup, his doctor noted early signs of hypertension. "Nothing serious yet," she said, "but it's time to start making changes." She could have handed George another prescription, but she surprised him by recommending a tweak to his diet: try eating red grapes every day. At first, George was skeptical. Grapes? He'd always thought of them as a children's snack or a garnish for a cheese plate at family gatherings. But he liked the idea of something easy. No pills, no complex recipes, just a handful of fruit. So he picked up a bag of plump, ruby red grapes at the grocery store and started replacing his usual afternoon chips with a bowl of grapes instead. Within a couple of months, George started to notice subtle changes. His energy picked up. He wasn't so sluggish in the mornings. The headaches he used to get after yard work became less frequent. And when he returned to the doctor, she was pleased to see his blood pressure readings had improved, not dramatically, but enough to give him hope. "Keep it up," she encouraged. George did, and so did I after hearing his story. What makes red grapes so powerful for the heart? The answer is tucked inside their skin, in a compound called resveratrol. This natural antioxidant has made headlines in medical journals for its ability to support healthy blood vessels, improve circulation, and even slow down some of the processes that lead to aging at the cellular level. But it's not just resveratrol. Red grapes are also packed with polyphenol and flavonoids, all working together to reduce inflammation and protect your cardiovascular system. When you eat red grapes, you're giving your arteries the chance to stay flexible. No small thing as you age. Flexible arteries mean better blood flow, less strain on your heart, and lower risk of high blood pressure and stroke. If you've ever felt that cold tingle in your hands or feet after sitting too long, or worried about memory lapses that come from poor circulation to the brain, Red grapes can help by encouraging smoother, more efficient blood flow throughout the body. But the story of red grapes goes even deeper. Inflammation is a silent saboteur, playing a role in everything from sore joints to chronic disease. Red grapes fight inflammation thanks to those same antioxidants, and they help counteract the damage caused by free radicals, the unstable molecules that speed up aging and wear down your organs over time. In short, grapes are like a tune-up for your whole system, not just your heart. If you're worried about sugar or calories, here's some reassuring news. Grapes are naturally sweet, but they're low in fat and contain fiber that helps slow the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. This makes them a safer choice than candy or cookies when you want a snack that satisfies without sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. And grapes are mostly water, which means they also help keep you hydrated, something many older adults struggle with, often without realizing it. For people who don't want to fuss in the kitchen, red grapes are as easy as it gets. No peeling, no slicing, no messy prep. Just wash and eat. If you're looking for variety, try freezing them. They become a cool, bite-sized treat perfect for hot afternoons or late-night cravings. Add them to your yogurt, toss a handful into your morning cereal, or share a bowl with your grandchildren. If you find the skin a little tough, don't skip it. That's where many of the health benefits are concentrated. Of course, sometimes it's the small rituals that make the biggest impact on our lives. When George started eating grapes in the afternoons, he discovered it wasn't just the fruit that was good for him. It was the routine, the moment of self-care. Instead of mindlessly reaching for junk food, he took a minute to enjoy something juicy and fresh. It became a reminder that he was worth the effort, even in these later chapters of his life. There's a sense of comfort in knowing that not all solutions have to be complicated or expensive. So many health fads come and go, but the wisdom of eating fruit, real, whole, unprocessed food, has stood the test of time. Centenarians around the world, from California to Italy to Japan, nearly all share one habit. They make fruits like grapes a regular part of their diet. Maybe you're reading this and thinking, it can't be that simple. And you're right, good health is never about just one food. But it is about the small, repeated choices you make every day. Choosing red grapes over chips. Reaching for water instead of soda. Walking a little farther. Sitting in the sunshine. Calling a friend when you feel lonely. These are the things that add up. If you've already had heart troubles, it's never too late to start making small improvements. Talk to your doctor, of course, but remember that what you put on your plate matters as much as what's in your medicine cabinet. If you're one of the lucky ones who's still strong and independent, give yourself the gift of prevention. Grapes aren't just for children's lunchboxes or holiday tables. They're for anyone who wants to keep their heart beating strong. And if you need a little more encouragement, think of George. He didn't make grand, sweeping changes to his life. Just a handful of red grapes a day, and the willingness to care for himself in small, consistent ways. Sometimes, aging gracefully isn't about denying the years, but about honoring your body's needs with kindness. So next time you walk past the grapes in the supermarket, don't dismiss them as ordinary. See them for what they are, a delicious, affordable, and incredibly practical gift from nature, ready to support you as you keep living life on your terms. Your heart has carried you through decades of love, laughter, and challenge. It deserves a little sweetness, and a lot of care. Why not start today with a bowl of red grapes, and let your own story of renewal begin? 3. Kiwi, small fruit, with big benefits for digestion, immunity, and collagen. Kiwi. It's not the first fruit that comes to mind for most Americans. You don't see it in grandmother's canning jars, and you probably didn't grow up seeing it on every family picnic table like apples or watermelon. In fact, for many, the fuzzy brown skin and vivid green inside of a kiwi look a little mysterious, almost out of place in the classic American fruit bowl. Yet, this little fruit, about the size of a large egg, has quietly become one of the unsung heroes for anyone who wants to stay well, move easily, and keep their body strong after 60. Let me share a little story because sometimes It's not the science that changes our habits. It's hearing about someone else's journey. Lillian, a dear friend from church and a loving grandmother, was always the one making sure everyone else had what they needed. She baked, knitted, called on neighbors, and rarely complained. But after her 78th birthday, something shifted. She started catching every cold that went around. Her skin, once rosy and soft, looked a little duller, her joints ached, and she always seemed to have this nagging heaviness in her stomach after meals. She did what most of us do. She brushed it off. "Just getting older," she'd say with a half-hearted smile. But underneath, it bothered her. She missed feeling energetic and light, missed the easy laughter of her younger years, missed feeling like herself. It wasn't until her daughter, who'd moved back from California, started talking about kiwis that Lillian even considered changing her breakfast. "Just try it, Mom. 1 kiwi in the morning. It's good for your immunity, and it helps with digestion, too." Lillian raised an eyebrow. Kiwi? That green thing? But she loved her daughter, and she wanted to feel better. So the next morning, she sliced the fuzzy fruit in half, scooped it out with a spoon, and let the tangy sweetness surprise her taste buds. It was bright, refreshing, and not at all what she expected. She made it a habit, just 1 kiwi with her breakfast every day. Here's the secret that so many seniors have discovered. Kiwi is a little powerhouse, a superfruit hiding in plain sight. It packs more vitamin C per ounce than an orange. For anyone who's watched their immune system slow with age, that's big news. Vitamin C isn't just the cold-fighting vitamin you see advertised on boxes of lozenges. It's a critical building block for so many parts of your body. Keeps your immune system running, yes, but it also helps your skin produce collagen, the stuff that keeps it elastic and youthful-looking, the natural cushion for your joints, and a vital part of wound healing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But that's just the beginning. One of the silent struggles of growing older is the change in how our bodies process food. Meals that once left us satisfied now cause bloating, heaviness, or even discomfort hours later. Digestion, which we never thought about, becomes a daily concern. This is where it truly shines. Kiwi contains a natural enzyme called actinidin, which helps break down protein in your stomach. For Lillian, this meant her breakfast didn't just taste better, it felt better. Her digestion became smoother, and the heaviness she used to feel after eating eggs or cereal faded away. There's more. Kiwi is loaded with fiber. It's a double dose, really, soluble fiber, which helps keep cholesterol in check and blood sugar stable, and insoluble fiber, which acts as a gentle broom for your digestive tract. For anyone struggling with constipation or irregularity, and let's be honest, that's most of us at some point after 65, kiwi is a delicious and effective solution. Lillian started to notice she felt lighter and less bloated, and even her regularity improved. No more embarrassing moments or worries about leaving the house in the morning. Then there are the antioxidants. Kiwi is bursting with vitamin E and other compounds that fight the wear and tear of everyday life. You might not see the work these nutrients do, but you'll feel it. Fewer sniffles, faster recovery after a bump or bruise, and that subtle but real sense that your body can handle what life throws at it. Let's not forget the heart. Kiwi is rich in potassium, a mineral that helps regulate blood pressure, balances fluids, and supports steady heart rhythms. For seniors managing high blood pressure or worried about their heart, adding a kiwi to your day is one of the simplest changes you can make. And unlike some fruits, kiwi has a low glycemic index, meaning it won't spike your blood sugar. That's a relief for anyone keeping an eye on diabetes or trying to avoid those afternoon crashes that sap your energy. Now you might be thinking, that's all fine, but I'm not used to eating kiwis. The good news? You don't have to be fancy. Lillian simply sliced hers in half and scooped it out with a spoon. Some folks peel the skin, others eat it, fuzzy and all. For even more fiber, it's safe and quite nutritious if you can get used to the texture. Kiwis fit perfectly into fruit salads, blend beautifully into smoothies, and add a bright, tangy flavor to your morning oatmeal. For those who enjoy baking, a few slices of kiwi on top of yogurt or whole grain toast is a treat that feels almost decadent. As the weeks passed, Lillian noticed changes that surprised her. She wasn't getting sick as often. Her skin had a little more life in it, and her joints didn't ache quite so much. She felt, in her words, a little younger inside. What struck her most was the ripple effect. She started looking forward to breakfast again, took longer walks with her friends, and had the energy to volunteer at the library, something she thought she'd left behind for good. It's easy to be skeptical, to think, how much difference can one fruit make? The answer isn't about the kiwi alone. It's about the way small, consistent choices add up over time. One good decision at breakfast becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a foundation for better days. When you nourish your body with something as simple as a kiwi, you're sending a message to yourself, I'm worth the care. My health matters, no matter my age. For older adults on a fixed income or those who worry about waste, kiwis are affordable and keep well in the refrigerator. Buy a few at a time and let them ripen on the counter. They'll last a week or more once they're soft and ready to eat. If fresh kiwis are hard to find in your area, many stores carry them year-round now, and even canned or frozen kiwis, packed in their juice, can offer many of the same benefits. There's something almost poetic about the way a small fruit can carry such big benefits. In a world obsessed with complicated diets and miracle supplements, it's refreshing to rediscover that the humble kiwi, with its odd fuzzy skin and vibrant green heart, can quietly support your health from the inside out. If you're reading this and thinking of trying something new, why not start with a kiwi? Like Lillian, you may be surprised at how such a simple habit can change your mornings, and maybe even the way you feel about getting older. The little green fruit is more than just a novelty. It's a daily invitation to feel lighter, stronger, and more resilient. After all, healthy aging isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about finding ways to wake up with energy, move with ease, and savor the simple joys of every day. Sometimes, those joys start with something as small and beautiful as a kiwi on your breakfast plate, a gentle nudge from nature to care for yourself, one delicious bite at a time. 4. Pears. Gentle on digestion, strong on nutrition. Pears might not grab your attention in the produce aisle the way berries or apples do, but anyone who's enjoyed a perfectly ripe pear knows the quiet magic these fruits hold. Their soft sweetness, delicate fragrance, and melt-in-your-mouth texture are a comfort to the senses, especially as we get older and look for foods that are both nourishing and easy to enjoy. For many seniors, food can become complicated over time. Dental problems, sensitive stomachs, and sluggish digestion have a way of turning mealtime into a challenge instead of a pleasure. I've listened to countless friends and family members, once proud of their robust appetites, quietly confess that they now choose foods based on what won't cause trouble later in the day. It's a quiet kind of loss, missing the freedom to eat whatever you like, whenever you like, without paying for it with hours of discomfort, bloating, or even embarrassment. That's why pears are so special. They're gentle, truly gentle, on the digestive system, making them an unsung hero for older adults. I remember James, a retired mechanic from Nebraska, who used to joke that he had a cast iron stomach in his younger years. But by the time he reached 75, meals he once devoured without a second thought began to leave him feeling sluggish, bloated, and sometimes even anxious about going out for a walk or running errands. Some days, James told me, I just feel heavy after lunch, and nothing seems to move the way it should. His doctor gently suggested a simple change. Try adding a pear to your lunch every day. James was skeptical. He thought of pears as baby food or something you'd poach for dessert. But with little to lose, he gave it a try. Within weeks, his story changed. His digestion became more regular, his energy picked up, and he started to feel lighter, not just physically, but mentally, too. I didn't realize how much that constant discomfort was weighing me down, he admitted with a laugh. What makes pears so ideal for people in their golden years? First, they're incredibly easy to eat. Their soft, juicy flesh requires almost no chewing, making them perfect for anyone with sensitive teeth or dentures. There's no tough skin to battle with, no seeds to spit out, and no harsh acidity to upset the stomach. A ripe pear is like a small luxury you can savor, one slow bite at a time. But the real secret of the pear lies in its nutritional power, much more than meets the eye. Pears are a wonderful source of both soluble and insoluble fiber. Most of us grew up hearing about the importance of roughage, but fiber is more than just a remedy for constipation. Soluble fiber forms a gentle gel in the digestive tract, helping to move waste smoothly through the body, lower cholesterol, and regulate blood sugar. Insoluble fiber, found especially in the skin, acts like a broom, keeping things moving and preventing the sluggish feeling that can drag down your days. For older adults, fiber is a quiet lifesaver. Medications, changes in activity level, and simply the aging process itself can slow digestion to a crawl. Constipation and irregularity become so common that many just accept it as part of life. But it doesn't have to be. James's story is proof. After a few weeks of daily pears, his trips to the bathroom became predictable and easy, freeing him from worry and letting him get back to what mattered: his grandkids, his garden, and his walks through the neighborhood. That's just the beginning. Pears are also packed with important nutrients that the body needs as it ages. Vitamin K, for example, supports bone health and helps blood clot properly, a crucial concern for seniors. Copper aids in red blood cell production and immune function. Pears also provide vitamin C, which, though not as famous in pears as in oranges, still gives your immune system a gentle boost, helping you stay resilient through cold and flu season. And here's a bonus for anyone worried about blood sugar. Pears have a low glycemic index. This means they release their natural sugars slowly, without causing blood sugar spikes and crashes that can drain your energy and make diabetes management more difficult. Pears offer sweetness you can trust, without the roller coaster ride. If you have memories of pears from childhood, maybe they were canned and syrupy, or maybe you bit into a hard, grainy one and never gave them a second chance. Let me tell you, nothing compares to a ripe, fresh pear. Let it soften on the counter until the stem gives a little with gentle pressure. When you slice it open, the scent is delicate and inviting, and the flesh is buttery and yielding. You can eat them plain, sliced into a salad, or gently poached in a little water with cinnamon for an elegant, healthy dessert. Pears are also one of the few fruits that many people with digestive conditions, like IBS or chronic constipation, can enjoy without worry. Their unique fiber profile helps feed the healthy bacteria in your gut, which research now links directly to everything from mood and immunity to brain health and inflammation. Imagine that. Something as simple as a pear helping not just your digestion, but your overall well-being. For older adults on medication, pears are an especially smart choice. Some drugs, like painkillers or blood pressure medicines, can worsen constipation or cause an upset stomach. Rather than turning to harsh laxatives, a daily pear can be a gentle, natural solution. Even better, pears are easy to keep on hand. They ripen after picking, so you can buy them firm and let them soften at home. No rush to eat them before they spoil. Let's not forget the emotional side of eating, either. In a world where meals sometimes become a source of worry, the simple pleasure of biting into a sweet, juicy pear can lift your spirits. Sharing pears with grandchildren, bringing a few slices to a neighbor, or enjoying one with a cup of tea can become a small daily ritual of comfort and connection. As we age, the way we relate to food changes. We look for foods that are gentle, easy, and reliable. But we also want foods that nourish us, support our bodies, and help us stay active, independent, and confident. Pears do both. They quietly support your digestion, steady your blood sugar, protect your bones, and deliver nutrients that matter most as the years go by. James's story is not unusual. So many have discovered that the answer to better digestion and more energy isn't always found in a pharmacy, but in the produce aisle. Each pear is a little act of kindness you can offer yourself every day, a way of saying, I deserve to feel comfortable, nourished, and well, no matter my age. So, the next time you shop for groceries, give the pears a second look. Choose a few Bartletts or Boscs, let them ripen, and enjoy them slowly. You'll not only find relief from the discomfort that slows you down, but you might just rediscover a small joy that makes every day a little brighter. After all, growing older is about savoring the gentle gifts life gives us. Sometimes, those gifts are as simple and wonderful as a ripe, juicy pear. 5. Blackberries. Powerful brain boosters and antioxidants. There's something almost magical about blackberries. Maybe it's their deep, rich color, like drops of midnight on the vine, or the way their flavor lingers, tart and sweet, sometimes with a hint of wildness that takes you back to summer afternoons and childhood adventures. For many, blackberries are the fruit of memories. Picking them with stained fingers along a country road, searching for the ripest ones in the patch behind Grandma's house, or savoring them in a pie that was always gone too soon. But as it turns out, these little berries offer far more than nostalgia. For anyone navigating the challenges of aging, blackberries are a true treasure, powerful allies for the mind, the body, and the journey into our later years. It's no secret that as we get older, our brains sometimes don't work quite the way they used to. The name on the tip of your tongue slips away, and you find yourself standing in the living room, wondering why you came in, or you forget where you left your glasses, again. These moments can be frustrating, even frightening, especially if you've watched someone you love struggle with memory loss or dementia. It's a quiet fear for many of us. The idea that our sharpness, our wit, the very essence of who we are, could start to slip through our fingers like grains of sand. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Eleanor, an 80-year-old former nurse I once met at a community center, understood this worry all too well. Her mother had suffered from Alzheimer's, and the shadow of that disease haunted Eleanor's thoughts more than she cared to admit. She was a practical woman, the type who always knew where the bandages were, and who could organize a cupboard or a church lunch in no time. But lately, she'd started to forget things, little things at first, but enough to rattle her confidence. She confided in me one afternoon over a cup of tea, her hands wrapped around the mug for comfort. I just want to hold on to my mind, she said quietly. I want to remember the good things, the names, the stories. We all do. The brain is more than a bundle of neurons. It's the seat of our memories, our wisdom, our laughter, and tears. And while there's no single food that can guarantee a perfect memory, science is showing us that blackberries may be one of nature's most powerful tools for keeping the mind sharp and the spirit resilient. Let's talk about why. Blackberries are loaded, truly loaded, with compounds called polyphenol and anthocyanins, which are plant-based antioxidants responsible for that deep purple hue. These antioxidants are more than just a buzzword. They're protectors, helping the body fight off the tiny, invisible threats that build up over a lifetime. Every day, our brains are under attack from oxidative stress, unstable molecules that chip away at the health of our cells, contributing to aging, memory loss, and even chronic diseases. Blackberries work behind the scenes to neutralize these threats, slowing the damage and helping to keep your mind clearer and longer. But their benefits go even deeper. Those same anthocyanins have been linked in clinical studies to improved communication between brain cells, better memory, and even a reduced risk of diseases like Alzheimer's. Imagine that a handful of berries on your breakfast could be sending help straight to your brain, reinforcing the connections that make learning, remembering, and thinking possible. Eleanor decided to try it for herself. She started small, just a handful of blackberries mixed into her morning oatmeal or sprinkled over Greek yogurt. Sometimes she'd have them by the bowlful, savoring their brightness in the early sunlight. It wasn't a dramatic transformation, but after a few months, she noticed she was remembering little details better. Birthdays, the names of new neighbors, the plot twists in her favorite books. She felt, as she put it, more like myself again. Her doctor told her that the antioxidants in blackberries were likely supporting her brain's natural defenses, helping to keep her memory sharper as she aged. Of course, it's not only the brain that benefits from this humble berry. Blackberries are also champions for the heart, helping to lower blood pressure thanks to their rich stores of potassium and magnesium. They're high in fiber, keeping cholesterol levels in check and digestion running smoothly, a blessing for anyone who's dealt with sluggishness or irregularity. And because they're low in natural sugar compared to many other fruits, blackberries offer a safe, satisfying snack for those watching their blood sugar or managing diabetes. But perhaps the most underrated gift blackberries offer is their support for the skin. As we age, our skin becomes thinner, more fragile, and slower to heal. The antioxidants in blackberries help repair cell damage, boosting skin elasticity and helping wounds recover. That means fewer bruises, faster healing from little cuts, and, maybe best of all, a healthy glow that comes from nourishing your body from the inside out. Blackberries fit beautifully into any routine. Fresh ones are lovely, of course, but frozen blackberries are just as nutritious, easy to keep on hand, and perfect for smoothies or desserts. A simple bowl with a dash of honey and a few chopped walnuts makes a satisfying snack or breakfast. They blend easily into a salad, brighten up cereal, or can be enjoyed just as they are, a taste of summer in any season. If you've never made blackberries a regular part of your day, you might wonder if such a small habit can make a difference. The answer, time and again, is yes. Healthy aging is rarely about grand gestures. It's about the quiet, steady choices we make for ourselves. Choosing blackberries instead of cookies with your afternoon tea, adding a handful to your lunch, or bringing a little container along for a walk in the park. These simple acts add up, gently supporting your mind and body day after day. It's also about finding joy. There's a delight in the color and flavor of blackberries, a childlike pleasure in letting them burst on your tongue. For many, these berries evoke memories of canning with a grandparent, of summer picnics, of hands stained purple with juice. That sense of nostalgia is itself a kind of medicine, a reminder that you are part of a story that stretches back through generations. So, if you're looking for a way to nurture your brain, support your heart, and add a spark of pleasure to your daily life, don't overlook the blackberry. Let them remind you that nature often gives its best gifts in the simplest forms. Quiet, powerful, and full of promise. Like Eleanor, you may find that this little fruit helps you hold on to the things that matter most. Your memories, your independence, and your sense of self. And as you savor their flavor, remember, you are nourishing not just your body, but the life you love. With every bite, you're choosing vitality, clarity, and the simple joy of living well, one day at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me today, exploring the incredible power of simple fruits that can make a real difference in your health and happiness after 60. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the advice and products out there, but sometimes the best solutions are the ones nature has quietly offered all along. From cherries that soothe your joints to red grapes that support your heart, to kiwi, pears, and blackberries that nourish your digestion, immunity, and brain. Each fruit is a small but mighty step toward feeling stronger, sharper, and more vibrant. Remember, it's not about perfection or making huge changes overnight. It's about small, consistent choices that add up over time, building a foundation for your well-being and independence. You deserve to live each day with energy and joy, to embrace life fully, and to savor every moment with those you love. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you're excited to try? Share your thoughts and stories below. Your experiences might inspire someone else on their journey. If this video has helped you, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you simple, honest ways to live your best life. You've taken a wonderful step today toward caring for yourself, and that's something to be proud of. Stay healthy, stay happy, and remember, you deserve the very best at every age.